or tactical team.
Hey there guys, this is me and Malorian, and this is going to be another Orc Tactical Team. I can finally talk again. It's still a little bit weird, but I am good to go for another one of these. And today what I want to talk about is why Warmachine sucks when it comes to demo games. Now, I've been playing lots of games over the years. You know, I did the 40K, I did the Fantasy, and now I've done the Warmachine and Guild Ball. And in all these, I've been always, at some point or another, one of those people who are trying to take a lead in the community and trying to spread the word and teaching new gamers. And so, when it came to 40K, well, it was very simple. You just go and grab some guys, you show them how the game works, and there you go. Pretty simple to go. Same thing with Fantasy. Now, Fantasy had it so it was like, okay, we had to balance a few things out, but you could get an OK-sized game together, show them the main rules, and again, pretty easy. And even with Guild Ball, very straightforward rules. There's not many models anyway. So when you're trying to teach somebody how to play Guild Ball, hey, you teach them the main mechanics, and they're good to go. All three of those ones, very easy. I can grab a new person, do a game, and they're good to go. Now, Warmachine is a whole different issue. And now, I'm also a press ganger, so, I mean, not only do I do demos because I'm a nice guy, I also do demos because I'm a press ganger. And just earlier this week, I had a buddy come over. He's actually a buddy of my other buddy, and so it's like, hey, can you go and teach this guy how to play? I was like, no problem, that's easy. And then as he was coming over, that's when I was realizing, oh yeah, this game's actually very awful to do demos for. Now let's actually talk about why, because I've been saying these random statements and not really backing it up. Well, the very first thing is the way that Privateer Press even wants you to do demos. Now, the way that they want you to do demos is with the battle box. You're supposed to take this box. It has a caster, has 2 or 3 jacks. You throw them down there on the field, and you play your game, and you say, haha, that's how you play Warmachine. There you go. You're indoctrinated. But that is one of the worst ways to show this game. Because what happens when you're trying to teach these people the game that way? Sure, you can get an idea for the general mechanics. You'll have understanding what the speed means and the mat and the rat and the armor and the way that you're boosting. You'll understand all those things, but otherwise, your outlook on the game is completely skewed. It's completely different. Now, the reason why I say this is because when you're playing this little battle box game, you don't have all the other pieces. You think like, oh, this is it. I got a leader, I got some jacks or some beasts, and they're going to fight, and we're going to roll some dice, and in the end, somebody's going to win. Okay, seems like kind of a beer and pretzels game. Let's move on. And it doesn't really have that tactical depth. The tactical depth is completely missing. There's nothing there of it, right? If you're looking more for what I love Warmachine about, where you have all the models and all these choices and the micro interactions, none of that is there. As well, you don't really see any of the real parts of the games where, hey, when I'm going into a game, I can try and win by assassination, scenario, or by death clock. Well, you're not going to start a new player in a death clock. I mean, I guess you could, but that's normally not part of it. And so, really, it's like, okay, yeah, we play until there's assassination or somebody gives up, because you don't really do a scenario either. Because, sure, I guess you could throw on like one circle down or something, but if you were to do incursion, it would be vastly skewed. These scenarios are not designed for these battle boxes. So that's all missing. And so what you have is that when you have competitive players, people that went and played 40K or Fantasy, they want to see how Warmachine plays. Well, they come and see this, and it's like, well, what's going on here, Brian? You told me this was a tactical deep game, and this looks like utter trash. This is nothing. I'm not interested whatsoever. And you just lose those people right off the bat, and it's so awful. Well, okay, that's all right. Maybe there's another way of doing it. Maybe I can go and I can do a larger game. I'm going to go and I'm going to take the regular standard list, and I'm going to get you guys to kind of go and play. Oh man, that's almost just as bad because there is so much to take in. If you're a new player trying to come into a new game, and I'm like, all right, here you go. You got your caster and your jacks, and you got these units, and you got these solos, and these guys have a unit attachment, and so these guys have this rule, but when you do this, there's this interaction, so this other thing happens. Oh, and they have that rule, so this, and oh my god. When you start getting into the micro interactions and all the special rules of this game, it's a lot to take in. Now again, if you're a person who's that really competitive player that's looking for that, okay, they probably have the patience, they're going to wait, they're going to learn it, and then, okay, they'll see that there's some real depth. But it is a real slog to get through it, and it's not uncommon while you're trying to explain this, you just see them, they go blank. And they're listening to you, and they're like, yeah, let's just roll some dice, whatever, I don't care, I just want this demo to be done, so much blah, 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 blah. And it sucks. Now, you could try and find like that happy medium where it's like, okay, I'll try and do a smaller list and try and find something that kind of works there, but it's really hard to find. And so, especially because that's not even what most people do, right? Most people follow the way that Privateer Press says you're supposed to do it. They don't take full lists, they go with battle boxes, and it throws everybody off. That's why, in a way, when people come into Warmachine, they're like, yeah, jacks, I want to be running all these jacks, I want to be running all these beasts, because that's what they think the game is all about. If I would have done my demo and seen all the infantry, it'd be like, oh, I see, it's not just jacks, it's also infantry as well? Oh, okay, and I have a different feel for the game. But I came into it thinking there was a game all about jacks, and had kind of like a rude surprise when I learned that it wasn't. And another thing that really hurts new players as well is as they start getting into it, they start realizing, well, okay, so if this is a game of attrition, I guess I want to go with the guns. So yeah, let's play some guns. I'm going to go and buy this and this and this because it has the awesome guns. And yeah, that's awesome. Let's do some shooting. Oh, there's scenarios now? Oh my god, I've made all these purchases and I'm not ready for scenario, so now I'm totally screwed. And man, that sucks to see. To go and give somebody a battle box game, and normally like in those sets there's like at least the one shooting model, and then they leave and they come back and they bought a whole bunch more shooty jacks, and then you're like, okay, you can shoot, but you need to get in the fray as well, and then they lose on scenario and they feel cheated, and it's just not what you want. You don't want people feeling cheated because you're not going to get new games. Now, I guess the question is, how can we actually fix this? What is the way that we can fix this game now, or the way that we do demos? And I think the first thing is that we need these battle boxes and the idea that we should be pushing the battle boxes to go away. These battle boxes, although it's a kind of a simple way to get people into the game, is not a fair assessment. A much better one that they have is at least the two-player game. In the two-player game, you get that battle box, but at least you get another unit. So it's just that one little step higher where you see it's not all jacks, there's a little bit of infantry, and you know what? You know, it works fairly well, right? In fact, now that we have the all-in-one boxes, I almost think that we should just stop, well, not we, I think Privateer Press should just stop production of all battle boxes now. It's now done. If you want to come in and you want to learn the game, here is this two-player box. It has everything you need. Oh, you decided on your faction and it's not maybe one of these guys? Here are these awesome all-in-one boxes and you're all good to go. Those are such a better way to do this, right? If you compare it, that all-in-one box, to the battle box in the cost difference, there's no comparison. The all-in-one box is such a better representation of what the game really is and giving you the pieces you're really going to use. I mean, unless you're going in and you actually end up doing a jack spam or something like this, it really doesn't translate over. So, again, I really feel that the way that we're pushing these demos right now is the wrong way to do it, and I really wish that we'd find some way to tell all the press gangers, stop doing this way, stop teaching people the battle box because it's giving people a bad impression of the game, so we're losing competitive players, and if we go the other way, we're making the people who want to come in here for fun just get overwhelmed with rules. Let's start pushing that two-player box that has a little bit more with infantry. You know, maybe we can get a little bit more going with a scenario there or something. And then once they decide, instead of them going out and buying a battle box and then buying a bunch of shooty jacks, they can go out, they can buy their all-in-one box, and then they got a real feel for the game, and they got a real solid list to kind of work off from. So there you go, guys. This has been a real concern for me for a while, and I'm sure for some of you guys are just like, your usual tournament players or whatever, you're like, okay, whatever, Mallory, I don't care. But for those of us who are press gangers and trying to get new people in the game, this has been a major frustration. So I would love to hear what you guys think. Do you think I'm crazy and battle boxes are awesome? Or am I actually on the right track and all-in-ones are a much better way to go? Or is there a different idea? So please put your post down below. Glad to be back into these Orc Tactical teams, and I'll catch you again right away. Bye.